morning, everyone. Welcome to Tribune News on Q, your go-to morning news source, only here at Daily Tribune. We are live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Tribune na on YouTube, and Daily Tribune Official on TikTok. For our headlines, Philippine Congress ratifies 6.79 trillion peso 2026 budget, now awaiting President Marcos's signature. Ombudsman cautions public against treating leaked Cabral files as conclusive evidence. Pulse Asia survey shows Marcos approval falling while BP Duterte retains higher support. DOH reports 235 New Year's fireworks injuries and warns cases may rise further. Navota's lawmaker confirms Congress members receive millions in recess break allowances. Fuel prices to see modest adjustments as gasoline dips and diesel rises slightly. Del Monte sells 5% stake in India's Sundrop brands as part of investment review. Nikola Jokic leaves game with knee injury as Nuggets fall to Miami Heat. Filipino tennis star Alex Ayala arrives in Auckland ahead of Australian Open. Marcelito Pomoy closes 2025 with a New Year's Eve performance at Mar-a-Lago. Today is 3rd of January 2026, Saturday, and I'm Louisse Kalingag, bringing you this week's top stories. Let's get started. The House of Representatives swiftly ratified the Bicameral Conference Committee report on the 6.79 trillion peso 2026 national budget, sending it to Malacanang for President Ferdinand Marcos's signature. The ratification took less than a minute, with scattered objections heard. The Senate also approved the measure on its final session day. The budget includes deep cuts to the DPWH amid corruption probes, boosts funding for education, health, and PhilHealth, but retains controversial unprogrammed appropriations. The President is expected to sign the budget in early January. The controversy over the so-called Cabral files intensified as the Office of the Ombudsman warned the public against treating leaked digital copies as conclusive evidence, citing risks of alteration and manipulation. Assistant Ombudsman Mico Clavano said only partial records were presented by Batangas Representative Leandro Leviste and claimed the lawmaker disputes. Leviste insists he showed investigators the full set of documents. The Ombudsman has now secured the late DPWH official's computer and ordered a forensic examination to verify the authenticity of the records. More Filipinos disapprove of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s performance at year's end, with 48% rating him negatively, according to a Pulse Asia survey conducted in mid-December. While his nationwide trust ratings remained largely unchanged, dissatisfaction rose sharply in Metro Manila, where distrust increased by 17 points. Meanwhile, Vice President Sara Duterte maintained stronger public support, posting a 56% approval rating, slightly higher than in September. The nationwide survey covered 1,200 adult respondents and carries a margin of error of plus or minus 2.8 percentage points. The Department of Health warned that fireworks-related injuries may rise by more than 300 additional cases due to late reports, on top of 235 recorded on New Year's Day. DOH Assistant Secretary Albert Domingos said a validated tally from 62 Sentinel hospitals will be released by January 3. Despite the expected increase, cases remain about 42% lower than last year. Nearly 7 in 10 victims were children and teenagers. The DOH urged those injured to seek immediate medical care and avail of free tetanus vaccines at government hospitals. Navota's Representative Toby Chanco confirmed that House members receive billions of pesos in so-called break allowances every time Congress goes on recess on top of their monthly operating funds. Chanco said the practice has existed since at least 2010 and requires no liquidation. He confirmed receiving 1.5 million peso during the Undas break. The disclosure follows questions raised over an alleged 2 million peso Christmas release. Former COA Commissioner Heidi Mendoza called for transparency, urging the release of itemized expense lists of monitor lawmakers' spending. Motorists may get a modest New Year price adjustment this first Tuesday of 2026, with gasoline prices expected to roll back slightly while diesel could see a small increase. The Oil Industry Management Bureau said gasoline may drop by about 50 centavos per liter, diesel by around 15 centavos, and kerosene by 20 centavos, pending final computations. Fuel companies will announce adjustments on Monday for implementation Tuesday. Price movements were driven by global oversupply concerns, weaker demand, and ongoing geopolitical risks affecting oil markets. Del Monte Pacific Limited is scaling back its investment in India after selling about 5% of its stake in Sunjap Brands for roughly $15 million. In a stock exchange filing, the company confirmed the sale of 1.88 million shares through its Indian unit, with proceeds already received. Del Monte also disclosed plans to sell an additional 1.45% stake under similar terms, pending approvals. The company said it will provide updates as it continues to review its remaining Sunjap Brands holdings. Denver Nuggets star Nikola Jokic suffered a painful left knee injury as Denver fell to the Miami Heat 147-123 at the Kaseya Center. The three-time NBA MVP exited late in the first half after his foot was stepped on, causing his knee to buckle. Jokic did not return for the second half, finishing with 21 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds. Nuggets coach David Adelman said the severity of the injury is still being evaluated. Miami dominated after the break, outscoring Denver 84-60. Filipino tennis star Alex Ayala has arrived in Auckland, New Zealand to compete in the WTA 250 ASB Classic ahead of her Australian Open campaign. The 20-year-old athlete will also play in the Kooyong Classic before heading to Melbourne for the season's first Grand Slam starting January 18. Ayala earned direct entry to the main draw as a top 100 player, currently ranked 53rd. The former Australian Open junior doubles champion is aiming for her breakthrough run in Melbourne against a stacked field of top-ranked contenders. Filipino singer Marcelito Pomay closed off 2025 with a standing ovation at the Mar-a-Lago, the private estate of former U.S. President Donald Trump in Florida. Pomay performed Andrea Bocelli's Time to Say Goodbye and later The Prayer, showcasing his signature dual voices. While Trump missed the first performance, he attended the New Year's Eve celebration where Pomay performed and later met both the former president and First Lady, Melania Trump. Pomoy, Season 2 champion of Pilipinas Got Talent, called it a dream start to 2026. That's all for now. Join us again tomorrow at 11 a.m. still here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Tribune Now on YouTube, and Daily Tribune Official on TikTok. Also catch the diva that you love, Alwin Ignacio and Ultra Maldita Alex Brosas later and tomorrow 4 p.m. for DTT Show on Yaro Terades Facebook page and YouTube channel. Once again, I'm Louisse Kalingag and this has been Chibi News on Q. Happy New Year, Katribu!